Hi, good morning. It's morning here in the UK. Have we got anyone around? It's my day off, but hi Gemma, good morning. But I thought I'd have a quick chat and see if anyone wants to talk about anxiety, how it affects them. I certainly know how it affects me, what it does to our body. Good morning, Gemma. And whether it can be a good thing, and where it's not so good. Timothy, I hate anxiety. Actually, that's one of the problems sometimes, not getting on at you, Tim, but we have to try and find a way to befriend it, or at least welcome anxiety in, just like a lot of psychological conditions, because if we try and push it away, it tends to get even stronger. So, where possible, try to allow it in. Throw the doors wide open. Acknowledge, I am anxious. Actually, I've got a bit of tightness across my diaphragm right now. I shouldn't really be doing this today. I should be resting because it's been a really, really difficult week, but very positive as well. But I am exhausted. But on the other hand, I'm sitting here, I'm fussing my cat. One cat, say hello cat. Old girl that she is. And hopefully that's going to calm me down at some stage. Timothy says, I do acknowledge, but still hates the feeling. Yeah, I appreciate that. It takes some skill to not only acknowledge, but then we take it on another stage, not judge the feeling. So I can say I'm feeling anxious, as I'm feeling a bit anxious right now, but not judge it. I can say I'm feeling anxious. I hate this. It's no good. My diaphragm's tightening up. My heart's speeding up. My lungs are getting tight and shallow, and it's really uncomfortable. The truth is, it's uncomfortable, but I don't have to judge it. Why am I anxious? It just appears sometimes. I'm actually quite an introvert, Tim, thank you. Sometimes this works, just doing a presentation, a broadcast, and sometimes it doesn't. It's all about preparation sometimes, or where you're at, where your resilience is. Have you rested enough? Have I rested enough? I've done a lot of work on radio. I have a face for radio. And sometimes, most of the time it's really good. Most of the time I can breathe normally. I can communicate well, but other times, just out of nowhere, it seems, I can get some kind of energy, some kind of negative energy that tightens that tightens up the diaphragm, makes it very difficult to breathe. So I'm going to deliberately slow myself down now. Thanks, Gemma. And when I slow myself down, when I slow my breathing down, I slow my thoughts down. When I slow my thoughts down, I slow my emotions down. And that really is a form of meditation. I'm sure the cat helps. It does. Also got a dog in the room who's just lying in such a way that it's embarrassing. I'm not going to show you him at the moment. Now, I've just done a bit of self-counsel there. I have literally reduced the tension I was feeling in my diaphragm. It was reducing my transit of air in and out of my lungs, which is leaving me short of breath. We can all do that. Thank you, Timothy. Calm down. We can all do that. It is about stop running faster and faster. We get on a hamster wheel, don't we, when we've got anxiety, because we feel threatened. We're feeling something, and that message is being sent to the brain, can you do something with this? I feel threatened. So the brain has to make a decision. What do I do with that information? Is it a real threat? Do I need to jump back away from the bus that's coming down the road and I've walked into the path of it inadvertently? Timothy, is the cat threatening you? No, not at all. Good morning, all those others that are joining. No, the cat's not threatening me. Not on this occasion. She's an old girl. Where's the cat? I'll show you the cat. I'm not going to turn the camera around because it's sometimes a pain. Oh, there she is. That's Chloe. Chloe, meet the world. Chloe's an old girl. She's 21 of all things, so God knows what that is in cat years. Yeah, so how do we react to anxiety? And that's one of the problems. We react. What about if we slow down? What about if we respond to the anxiety? I ask myself, what am I anxious about? Do I know what I'm anxious about? Is there a threat? Is it real? Am I in danger? Now, if I have stepped into the path of a bus inadvertently, then clearly I need to step back. But I don't need to think about what bus is it, how fast is it going, and where's it going, and how much is it going to hurt. I can just step back instinctively, intuitively. But when we get this anxiety ourselves, prior to an interview, a meeting, to be called in to see the boss, then we have to slow down. We have to take a moment. In this moment, I'm safe. In this moment, it's okay. Never mind the past that doesn't exist anymore, and what might have gone on before, and never mind what might happen in the future. Neither of those places are here at the moment, are they? Ozzy's asking, why do some people handle anxiety better than others? It's a really good question. I think a lot of that is down to resilience, but also it's in our DNA. You know, what kind of threats we've had in this life, and who knows, perhaps in previous lives, quite contentious. But maybe from generations before, there may be a DNA trait. But it really depends on the strength of the experiences and the emotions associated with those experiences. Shouldn't evolution have got rid of it? That's a really good question. I think it will in time, but given how long the different aspects of our brain and our physiology and our anatomy have taken to evolve to the state we're at today, the actual interpretive part of the brain is well behind the parts that sense, the amygdala of the brain, that sense danger, sense data. There's a lack of confluence between our physiology and what we can make of the world today. And remember also that we are faced with so much information today compared to the past. And we are overloaded with information, myself included. Just slowing down. I'd like to do a bit of breathing, a bit of slow breathing. We don't have to think about our breathing, do we? Thanks, Gemma. Really interesting point, Gemma says. We don't have to think of our breathing, it's automatic, isn't it? How lucky is that? But again, it's so linked to our thoughts. Ozzy, can the body not handle too much sensory info? Yeah, it can, in moderation. And it's about balance. So if I'm being bombarded with information 24/7, at some stage, I'm going to fall over. Everything has to become normalised to some degree. But therein lies one of the problems. When we're on automatic, we can get ambushed by potential or perceived threats from the past, from our experiences of the past. But everything becomes normalised. Everything passes, doesn't it? Just as saying that, I was just watching a car pass. Goodbye, car. It's good not being client-facing. We can have a sense of humour this morning. What other questions have we got? Don't we just go to sleep when overloaded with sensory info? No, we don't, do we? We have weird dreams, lots of dreams. We may be aware of them, we may not. If we can go to sleep with proper sleep hygiene, prepare for sleep in the right way, turning off the blue screen, the smartphone and everything, 1 to 2 hours at least before going to bed, then we're more likely to have a refreshed sleep. But I can guarantee, as I was last night, when I was doing some work quite late, that came into my dreams. And it makes no sense, of course, because the dreams are just trying to defrag the information. But the earlier we shut off from sensory overload, the better the sleep will be. Scarlett, hi. Scarlett says, when I have anxiety, which will help more, psychologist or medicine? Well, medicine's probably, it depends if there's a deficit in the body, of course. If there's something missing that's creating anxiety, which is usually unlikely biologically, then we can remedy that with medication to mimic the effect that the body should have already. But the reality is it's masking the symptoms most of the time. It's a short-term strategy. I think psychology, if I can be more mindful, then I can see things as they really are. I can have clarity about what I'm sensing, asking the question without judgment, and make more sense about it. That doesn't require medicine. I think medication can be useful about the sleep aspects with anxiety to break the cycle. You're welcome, Scarlett. Stephen, yeah, you're on an SSRI. That's a replacement medication. I guess lots of us are on medications. Here's a funny thing. I don't know what you guys think of this. When I say funny, I think it's strange. When you go to a GP or a physician and you say you've got anxiety or you feel that you might have depression, they'll often prescribe medication. But do they ever take a blood test first to see whether you actually require the medication, not based on what you've said, but on what your physiology is saying? SSRIs, like fluoxetine, are generally to replace something that's supposed to be missing. No one's ever going to know because no one ever tests for it, it seems. I think we need a more holistic view around what's causing anxiety. And often it's just continued exposure to a stimulus that's triggering. Gemma saying, I'm just thinking about this morning. None of us are immune to anxiety, and it isn't a sense that we're failing as a result of it. Ozzy, any indications of sensory overload we should be watching out for? Yeah, what are you feeling? Your body tells you everything you need to know. If I'm feeling anxious, and I am still a bit now, then we might shake, we might get quieter, we might withdraw, or we might get really loud and feel threatened and aggressive even. We can be more interpretive of our emotions. If you grow that emotional intelligence in that way, of what you're feeling, what others are feeling, then you can feel more safe. Gemma, he was a bit stumped as to what to do without being able to prescribe something. I shouldn't laugh, yeah. Of course, when you go and see a physician, they haven't got much time to actually listen to you. They might see up to 80 patients a day, and whilst I don't necessarily say that's our fault, it's not their fault. It's not ours either. We have to have a route where we can get good advice. We can have something other than pharmaceuticals to deal with our problems. And I think at the moment it's much, much, much more about slowing down. Hi David, good morning to you, or evening. Where's everyone coming from today? I know we've got a few from England or the UK. We got anyone from abroad? Wisbech, at the heart of the fens. Thank you, Stephen. No, well, Somerset, good morning. How's the weather down there? In East Anglia, we've got dreadful. I've got to learn to dance in the rain. Hi, Sonia. Good morning. It's not too good shit, says David. Yeah, that probably sums it up. Hi, Bristol. I know Gemma Clifton. I think weather is pants, isn't it? My poor dog's not appreciating it. He wants to go out for a walk. I'll have to put his coat on. He'll appreciate that even less. Going out for a walk. There's a good one for anxiety. Get some exercise, burn off some of the stuff that's getting us ready for fight and flight. And then we do nothing with it, don't we? If we're at work and we're getting stressed, or at home and getting stressed, we don't do anything with it, so we don't discharge it. Oh, thanks, Tyler. Thanks, Sonia. Tyler says hi. So we need to dissipate some of those neurotransmitters that have been released to get us ready for that fight or flight that doesn't exist. I remember somebody mentioned earlier that they were worrying while they were on holiday about the safety of things at home and so on. That's a classic one, such as did I turn the iron off? Did I turn the, not hairdryer, did I turn the cooker off? Did I lock the door? Gemma's just written something in some amazing English. I'll be back to that in a moment. I think mindfulness really helps with that. If I know when I'm locking the door that I'm locking the door because I say I'm locking the door, and I'm feeling, using my senses, the key, noticing the colour of the door, doing all sorts of, breaking down the automaticity of it. If I'm really doing it, I have no doubt that I've done it, and I can let that go. My wife is exactly the opposite. We've only got to the car a few feet away and said, did I lock the door? We all do that, don't we? Gemma, what was your question again? Sorry, darling, I've completely forgotten. Something about, is that what we... No, I can't recall what it was. Sorry, John. Too much. Oh, is that the reason exercise helps with fight or flight? Yeah, not only because it releases things like oxytocin and other neurotransmitters that are feel-good factors, but also we're making use of the reason we've got the neurotransmitters in the first place, the noradrenaline, the adrenaline released from the top of the kidneys that get flooding into our bloodstream to say, oh, quick, do something, run or fight, or actually the third aspect that people don't know about or often say is play dead. Which, we get quite introverted, become quite still. Take a breath, relax. How many meditate? Anybody meditate on here? That's meditate, guys. It's a family show. Who wants to know about meditation? Imagine that in the office. Yeah, that'll work. Playing dead. We can meditate while we're doing whatever we're doing. We don't have to be hugging a tree, going on or doing something else. We can actually just be aware of what we're doing. That is a form of mindfulness, someone just saying. David's saying, I tried, but I struggled for more than 15 minutes. Yeah, so do I. You don't need to struggle. You don't need to do more than 15 minutes. More is better, but no need at all. And even 3 minutes at the very beginning of the day of just coming to your breath and grounding yourself will make a difference to a good portion of your day. And if you can finish off the day doing that as well, great. Meditation generally is about coming to our senses, coming to this place, this moment right now. So if I come to my breath and become aware of my breath, becoming aware of it moving in through my nostrils, getting warmed, which is the purpose of your nostrils, moving into my lungs, my chest expanding, and then breathing out tension. You don't necessarily need to modify your breathing, just slow it down, become aware of it, and become comfortable with being aware of your breathing. Just be aware of it, don't try to control it. What we're trying to do is just getting back in touch with ourselves. Now, I can feel quite a bit of tension around my tummy. Have you guys got any tension? Can you feel that? If you have, just let it go, don't judge it. And there's lots of breathing exercises we can do to accommodate this, to become more aware of our breathing. We can do some circular breathing or 4-part breathing. We breathe in for 4, hold for 4, breathe out for 4, hold for 4. Do that a few times, I guarantee you'll start to come to your breath, you'll start to relax a bit more. There's various versions of this, okay? Once you've done this a bit, once you've just come to your breath, we can start to do a bit of a body scan. This doesn't require a CAT scan or an MRI. We can just start to visit each part of our body in our mind's eye and just become aware that we're relaxing each muscle group, and any muscle group or any sensations we can feel, we can just let go. If I've got any pain anywhere, I can breathe into that and then just let that go. So let's start at the top of the head. You can see mine, it's highlighted there. There it is. Spit and polish. That's where I feel a lot of tension usually, right at just above the eyes there in the forehead. So just relaxing that, making sure I'm actually letting go. And the cheeks and the jaw, and clenching the teeth if they're clenched. Back of the head, the scalp, shoulders, the neck. Another great area for headaches. If you know, greatest cause for headaches is neck tension and shoulder stress after dehydration. So becoming aware of any muscles that are tight, letting them go, any constriction, any discomfort, breathe into it. And then down into the arms, lower arms, hands, unclenching any fingers that are tight, breathing into any tension and letting it go. And into the back, upper back, lower back, to the front of the chest, the lower chest and the diaphragm, that muscle that tightens up for me as it was at the beginning of this, to the tummy. I'm doing this really quickly, we can do this much slowly yourself, much more slowly. To the pelvic region, to the buttocks, stop laughing at that, to the upper legs, thighs, the hamstrings, knees, lower legs, ankles and feet and toes. And periodically I'll just take a deep breath and let that tension out. Just ask how often I meditate. I meditate first thing in the morning, up to an hour, but sometimes it might only be a quarter of an hour. It depends on the circumstances. This morning I just I listened to a lecture actually, which sounds really boring, but actually it's from a Buddhist monk. It's quite amusing as well as informative. Just listening to something inspirational. Sometimes I'll listen to music, but often I'll listen to a guided meditation, which is somebody doing what I've just done, but much better probably. It's very difficult. We're not trying to clear the thoughts. We're not trying to empty the head. We're actually trying to just listen to the body, to the breathing, to the thoughts, not judging them, allow them to come and then letting them out. We might visualize something like putting them on a cloud, a thought that's worrying us, that keeps repeating, and watching it drift away and get smaller and smaller into the sky. Favourite one of mine is drawing a word that signifies something that's troubling me into the sand that I'm visualising, a wet sand, and then the wave coming in and washing that away, and then the sand is clear again. I've actually done one of these meditations. I put it on my website. It's on a blog around relaxing students before exams and so on. But I'm going to do some more and pop them on. My website's at anglicounselling.co.uk. It's on my profile. But also I write blogs there fairly regularly. This week's is causing quite a bit of interest about what doesn't work in therapy and why things don't work sometimes with counsellors. Emma, would I recommend any types of meditation over another, transcendental or mindfulness? It's really horses for courses. For me, it's mindfulness. Because you can do it any time of the day and nobody need know necessarily if we're worried about being judged. We can do formal mindfulness meditation like the body scan just now and coming to our breath. Or we can do it while we're on a bus, public transport, at work, in a meeting, being where you're supposed to be, doing what you're supposed to be doing at any time, making a cup of tea, washing up. The more onerous task is a great time to do mindfulness. When we really want to do it is when we're doing automatic things, brushing our teeth. It's a classic one. I always talk about this. If I change my hand when I'm brushing teeth, I have to think about it, otherwise it's going to end up in my eyes. It's a great way of stopping that. Gemma, never thought about that. Great tip. Similarly, when if you're a chap or a lady wearing trousers, put the different leg in the trouser to start with, and watch yourself fall over the place. Try to break down all those automatic things. Now, the reason I've gone into this when I'm supposed to be talking about anxiety is because it's a precursor to managing anxiety. If I become more present, I'm not in a place that's causing me, that I think is causing me stress, that's causing me worries, places from the past, worries about the future. If I'm present here, right now, I'm safe. The cat settled down. The dog settled down. I'm still waiting for my young son to get up. He's had a late night last night. He's only 9. So we might hear him shortly saying, "Morning." But let's come to just be. Judging less is another one, and comparing less with others. Mind reading is another one for anxiety. We're all amateur mind readers. I wonder what they thought of what I just said. I could think that now. I wonder what you're all thinking about me. Keep it clean, guys. I no longer ask the question. I care not, because I'm right thinking. Doesn't mean I'm always right. I'm not intending to hurt anyone. I do everything that I can to just do the right thing for the most part. But I'm not an angel either. I'm not here to be rolled over. But, right thinking, compassion for others. When others we think are hurting us, asking, are they really hurting us, or is what I think about it hurting me? And trying to understand why people behave the way they do. Well, I feel better. Thank you.